Okay. Hi guys. Welcome to my channel NER. Yeah, it's me, Ren. And yeah, today I want to talk about like the Asian parenting issue, why it formed, and what's the possible problems that it cause our second gens to feeling like to be hurt. So I'll just start from these two aspects. Yeah, it will be quick for these two, and so then people can just think about like what's the possible discussion that will be coming out. Okay, yeah. So that's my channel. So for the parents, Asian parenting, when I'm meaning the Asian parenting, especially in our church, is that our church members always have a much more highly request that members like the children to be affiliated to the church, affiliative to their parents, and to be obedient towards their parents, like not questioning too much, and and always like centering on true parents' word, in a sense. Yeah. So actually, True Father have a lot of projects around the world, but mostly after the first gen taking up uh, the the leadership, it's so hard to pass to the second gen because most of the time the first gen don't even have confidence to pass to the second gen, and even for the matching blessing, it's the same situation. And why it happened in this way? Let's go back to like our parents' era. So I just based on my parents is from the 1990s. So from there, my parents, one from Taiwan, one from Malaysia. At the time, our church is so focusing on to expansion, like expanding our church, like yeah, expanding our church in a sense, in the sense of like size. So uh, so at that time, a lot of like the church leaders and even the church members as well, I would just say, like, so they join the church is because they want to just to receive the blessing. So the blessing is the first sense, and if they after receive the blessing, their mission is complete. Yeah, they are just understanding in this way. And because of it, and so then and they don't really having the educations like from small how to prepare themselves for the morality, and so then they are much more going with their how it was being practiced, like for the society way. So for the Eastern way, it's much more like because we are coming from a society that to farm. So whatever knowledge you are doing the farmer, you are inherit from your teacher. So who's your teacher? Is your father, is your grandpa. So you always respecting them, and sometimes they don't give you a clear reason because they don't know how to explain the reason. They'll be like, okay, today is a very beautiful day. Okay, we won't do any seeding, we won't do any planting today. And like the younger one would be like much more like, oh, why we are doing it, we are supposed to plan more, but they would just always say, let's see. Yeah, so this kind of situation in the society, especially in the past, before the globalization. Yeah, so and also at the early stage of the globalization as well. So the Asians, uh, especially the East Asian, yeah, even the India, the South Asian as well. Okay, whatever, the Asian, I would just say that. And the Asians are having this kind of like society practice, saying that okay, so you wait, so you just follow, you are affiliated, you are affiliative towards your parents, towards your seniors. And that happened to our church as well. So a lot of Asian blessed couple, first gen at that time, they are so focusing onto that. Okay, so I need to be obedient towards my leader. And for those who can't really obedient towards the leaders, because the leaders are also once members. So yeah, they are much more like being raised in this way. They are either like feeling disappointed they left the church, or they are being chased out by the church. At that time, it's not like really like chased out, but somehow like the whole environment is not welcoming those kind of people. Is now, in a sense, we can understand as the abusing the masculinity of the human. Yeah, you can understand it this way. So this all just happened, and our members, especially the first gen, the parents have a setting up the mindset, saying that so is the only good people will form is that they are obedient towards their leader, obedient towards their parents, and they are doing it, and they are projecting this kind of thinking image onto their children as well. So that's why when the parents always they are trying to setting up some standards, they don't really ask their children. When they ask their children, it's much more like asking for approval, only approval. So or something like just acknowledgement. That is much more worse. Like it's much more like a command, right? Oh, so today I think it's good for you to go to a Sunday service. I want to see it at home. No objections. Follow. Yeah, somehow. Yeah. So this kind of situation is just built up like how the second generation in Asia, especially the Asian parents, and so somehow like the kids are being like always being dismissed in the sense that, oh, I don't feel good, so why you are using your feeling? So, oh, I don't feel like I want to follow my parents. Oh, why you want to do that way? You are not supposed to do that way. And they were just putting on this kind of reasonings. So in the past, our members are putting another reason. Yeah, another reason is that our in the past, our first gen parents are putting so much hope onto true parents that are the one who just giving matching and blessing for the childrens, for the second generation. Why this will be a part of a very great reason. I think that for the first gen parents, their parenting will be so strict is that they'll just think that it's okay for the children to hate me, because in the end they just gonna just receive the blessing from true parents. They're gonna receive the matching from true parents, and true parents are the authority. So my children doesn't need to believe in me, they need to just believe in true parents. But they didn't study about like how actually true father talked to the early match second generation, like in the 1992, if I'm not mistaken. And true father said that this is supposed to be done by parents, but because the parents can't fulfill this position, and so that's why I'm the one who are doing the matching is supposed to be your parents. So I think part of it is because that the parents are so focused onto the providence, and so that's why they don't really understand their children. So okay, this like the possibility that being held. But right now we are going on with the parents matching. So a lot of parents after that they just found out that, oh, I need to match my children really, and will my children even believe in me? Who am I to match my children? Yeah, a lot of them they have some kind of this similar questions all the time. And yeah, this kind of situation making the parents panic, and they have more like insecureness within them. So yeah, so that's why this all just happened in a sense. But then like let's go to the problems, and what are the possible problems that are being found right now is firstly is the parents matching. So during the parents matching, so a lot of parents think that they somehow already understand their children, right? Because they giving all the educations, they push their children to join all the church activities. The children are so obedient to it. They don't have any objections. I say that, oh, they are good, and it means that they are definitely good, right? But actually no, because a lot of time, especially when you are children, you have a fear that if my parents didn't want me, especially because in our church a lot of time I don't say okay in our church, my own experience, or okay, is that because parents are saying that, oh, you are belongs to God, not belongs to us. So in a sense, if in a sense they didn't say it, but I will have a feeling much more like, so even though they doesn't want me, it's totally fine, it's totally okay for them. So it would be much more like, oh yeah, so I'm not that precious in a way. So the children, they will just follow what the parents asking, and but it's not building up a relationship with the parents. Like, so the connection, the bond is so weak, and so then they don't even have the trust relationship with the parents. Maybe they will be much more like, okay, I will just partially trust my parents, and after that I will just check by my own standards, right? I don't think my parents standards is good, because they always dismissing me. They are not respecting my choice, my perspective. So what's the point for me to trust my parents 100%? especially into the marriage. Yeah, this kind of situation just coming out and popping out like after the parents matching, and like, because it's much more like a problem that being exposed afterwards. Yeah, and this kind of situation it just continue happen. And what's the what it happens afterwards is that a lot of the second gens will took the way like to leave the church as a revenge. I will want to just use a little bit like the other assassinations. So I'm not saying that that guy is a second generation, but it's much more like because he's like in his sense, like in my understanding, he never listened to our church content, but in a sense he's much more being oppressed. Uh, he can't really understand his mother's action. He don't really study, so I won't call him a Jacob child. But because he don't really understand his mother, so it's somehow like a little bit like second gens, like trying to understand what happened to the parents. And because like parents like trying to be like, okay, you will just know one day, you didn't need to urgently like to understand all this right now, right here, right now. So it causing the children to be feel like, oh, I'm being left out. And once you left out your children don't receive your education. Your children will even refuse for your education. And where the education will coming from the outside world, coming from the people who trying to tell them or to educate them to have hatred, to have revenge towards their parents. And that's how it happens. And so that's why a lot of our second generations in the end they left the church. It's not because that they think that the church is it's not because they think that uh, they are really hating towards the church, but it's somehow like it's a way for them to play rebel towards their parents. I'm not saying that you are a bad guy, okay? If you watch my previous video, you know that I love you all. Yeah, like brothers, sisters, as always. Like even outside people as well, it's the same. Yeah, but I mean, it's something like that's how the people are trying to work as because it's something like a backfire. Yeah, so because like all this kind of situation just happening around our church, and a lot of our parents just suddenly just found out that they don't know their children, and they went to a situation that they deny their children. That is much more even worse. They are dismissing their children. After that they deny their children. But it just happened because they're losing their idea in their mind, the idea that their shadow is projecting onto you, and especially the second generations. And even the outside parents, some of them are also having the same issue as well. So some of the parents, they are using like the violence to educate their children, or we like for the children it's much more like just a violence towards me, and for me to obey to be obedient towards them. Yeah, this kind of situation just happening, huh? So yeah, so that's my point that I think I want to talk about, like for the Asian parenting, that why it happened, and also the problem that caused because of it. So then the solution, I think True Father actually already showed you out, and it's much more like you just use the cross cultural marriage. Because through the cross cultural marriage, you're exposing to a different kind of culture. And so then you are like, I'm not saying that you are having a easy time, but at the same time you are trying to educate yourself in a sense. And so then your future family, you'll be much more mature. You are have a much more bigger dynamics and trying to understand each other. Or else you're gonna go to a diverse, like the country of diversity. But the country of diversity, there is also a chance for you to your children to have a confusion as well. So everywhere, everything have a challenge, but you need to choose one of it. Yeah, right. So yeah, that's my point for today. Yeah, and I just want to do a little bit reminder clarification. So whenever I talk about the church problems, I'm not saying that our church is only sucks. I mean, it's much more like if you see the Asian parenting, and because of the Asian parenting, so the Asian kids are usually having a much more higher moral ethnicity, and so then they playing when they facing the strangers, they know how to make the strangers feel much more comfortable with a much more like polite way and to speak, and somehow, yeah. But in a sense, when I voice out like all these like problems, I'm meaning that I hope that our church can change, like especially because we are a community. So I hope that we can change this kind of problems in the future, and not saying that our church sucks and they are not supposed to be here. No, I never mean that. So yeah, hoping you all can understand it, and that's why I'm opening my YouTube and trying to open up all these kind of discussions to you all. Yeah, hope you all yeah, understand it. Yeah, and I think that's it for my today's video. Hope you all, yeah, like it. So subscribe and like my video and comment down below. See you in my next video. See.